Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Wumi and I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched my last video. Like, I got such high views in comparison to my other videos, obviously. So thank you to everyone. I also hit like 100 subscribers. Thank you guys. Okay, so I just wanted to create this video so I can talk about my PR story, include as much details as would be relevant. So if you're new, maybe you're just starting your PR process, or you're already in the process, hopefully this video will be helpful and you'll be able to gather some things from me as well. And I just have to give a disclaimer, obviously, that I am not a licensed professional. It's always funny when people do this, like say I'm not a licensed professional, but I started thinking about it, like everything, my entire PR process is very specific to me, and if I tell you this is what you should do and you do it and it doesn't work out, you know, before they come and meet me, that who told you that you should do it like this? Say it's one girl on YouTube, come and meet me and tell you log out first. On this so anyways, just pick and choose what is relevant to you guys. So I'm just going to share exactly what has happened. I think I'm rambling too much, so let's get into the video. So I started my PR journey in 2020. My friend, I just moved to Nigeria. I went to university in the UK. So I just moved to Nigeria and I had this Zimbabwean friend who also just moved back to Zimbabwe. We were talking about how I've stayed in Nigeria for like a year at that point, so I moved in 2019, and I was saying like, oh, I'm not sure I actually want to live here long term. Like, I love Lagos because I grew up in Ondo State, so I always wanted to live in Lagos, and I was at the time, but Lagos was showing me pepe, so I was like, I don't think I'd want to do this long term. So she was saying like, oh, have you heard about the Canada Express Entry thing? I was like, no, I haven't. So she told me about it, like they do draws and I can check my score. Then I went on the website, I checked my score. It looked like I'll be eligible just to enter the pool. I didn't have enough information at that time, but anyways, immediately I got off the call. I was like, yeah, I think I would love to do this. So this was early 2020, pre-COVID. Then I started my application process. So I applied. Then I knew all the information I needed. So just a quick background, my qualifications: I have my bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree. At that point in 2020, I only had 1 year of experience, but previously, like before, my university education was like really complicated, so I had like a break in between, and I also have another experience which I think you can count. So that makes it 2 years of experience. So anyways, I started looking into everything that I could do, which one immediate thing to do was IELTS. So when I wrote IELTS quickly. I got my result back. I had like 8.5, but in the writing I got a 6.5. So I was like, this should be fine, you know, like I just got into the pool with I only counted 1 year of experience, 6.5 in writing, and my score came up to about 402 or something. I was like, oh my god, this is really low. At that time, the draw that they were having was like, I think 460 something, 470 something, and I was like, how am I going to meet up? So I'm very, very impulsive, like, and I'm also like, I have a problem solving mindset. So I'm like, oh, this is not working, what do? I have to fix this situation. So I decided to apply to go the study route. Keep in mind so like literally, you guys learn from my bad decisions. So I already have a master's, right? And I have no intention of doing another 2 years master's. At this point, my dad wants me to do PhD and we're still fighting on it. So I was like, instead, let me do a postgraduate diploma. And you know, postgraduate diploma is maybe when you just come out of when you just finished doing your bachelor's and you've not done your master's yet. So while applying, I'm always very honest, so I put everything down as well. They said, do you have your master's? Like, what's the highest level of education? I said master's. I just wrote all of these things. I had an agent and everything, and she was just there like, I don't know, you have studied a lot though. Like, she didn't really advise me properly either. So anyways, I just applied and for postgraduate diploma, PGD, right? So they actually ended up declining me because they're like, we don't think you're going to leave the country by this time, which is true. So I was like, also I had to write another IELTS. So if you are doing PR, you write general IELTS, but if you're doing for school, you do academic IELTS. So that's the second IELTS I'm writing, but it's 2 separate categories, which that one was fine. Then I did that. I got declined because they're like, we don't think you'd leave. So I was very discouraged, and I was like, well, how else am I going to raise my points? So I just kind of stopped. I didn't worry about it again. Then eventually, let me see. Yeah, so work started stressing me out. Like, at work, everything was just getting really, really hard. They were really frustrating me. And I was like, I don't think I can stay here. I want a fresh start. So at, I think, March 2021, I quit my job. So all of my student application, everything, that was like 2020 into 2021. So at March 2021, I quit my job, and then I started the Canada thing again. I was like, let's revisit. So I tried to figure out what exactly I did wrong the first time. I realized that. So I was like, there's this there's this tool that you can use to check your score. So I went on that tool. I was like tweaking things like, oh, what if I have this score in my IELTS? What if I have this? And the score kept increasing, and I was like, okay, this is nice. Like, I think if I have enough work experience and a good IELTS score, I already have a master's, I should be fine. Which is what I ended up doing. So I had to write another IELTS, because keep in mind, the first IELTS I wrote, in the writing I had 6.5. So quick tip, do not score anything less than 7 in all categories. Your score will drop. So anyways, I wrote another IELTS and then again scored 6.5. But at this point, I prepared for the writing. So I was like, that's impossible. Remark it. So I paid 33k to ask them to remark it. And so after I quit my job, I moved to the US. Well, no, moved is like I'm using the term loosely. I had like a 2-year visa. My uncle is there. I was like, so in Nigeria, I was working for like a oil trading company, but I have a tech background, so I was trying to go back into tech. So I started with like user experience design, and I was volunteering in the US. So that's what I was doing for the meantime. So during this was 2021, there was no draws because of COVID. It was still affecting things. So the only people that were drawing was like the PNP. And I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest. I was only focused on express entry. So now they remarked it, and then April 2021, I got like a new score. I got 7, just 7 on the dot on my IELTS, which I was so happy for. I put it in, and also keep in mind, 2021, my experience has increased as well. So now I have 3 years of experience with IELTS that is like 8.5, 7, like that. My overall score was like 8 or 8.5 or something. I can't remember. So I will check actually, and so I can show you guys. And my overall score, when I added that I went back to the pool, when I added everything, it came up to about 475. So I was like, okay, I think with this score, at that point, the draw was like 490, 500. And that was even CEC. They weren't doing express entry. But I was like, I think whenever they resume, I should have a chance. So in August 2021, all of a sudden, I lost my dad. Horrible situation. It was really, really bad. I've not even fully recovered from that, but I had to go back home. So this is why I became a teacher. Like, I think in my last videos you guys were asking, well, one person asked, which, you know, that am I here as a teacher? No, I'm not. So my dad has a really big school in Ondo State, so I decided to go back home and, you know, just work with my mom, just make sure everything is fine. So I was like a teacher. We're just managing the business, making sure everything was going fine. Then September, let me see if I can find all the timelines. Then in September 14th 2021, I randomly got like a message from CEC. At this point, CIC. At this point, because I lost my dad, and you know how I'm the first child. Well, everything we do, every decision that I'm making is like, is my dad going to be proud of me? Is my mom going to be, is my parents, are they going to be like very happy? Are they going to have bragging rights? You know, obviously, like, I'm a Nigerian girl now. So, but since I lost my dad, I lost all interest. I'm not even joking. Like, I was literally just making sure our business back home is fine. That's all I had interest to do. Everything else, studying, becoming a better human being, like getting more skills, zero. Like, I lost all motivation. Then in September 14th 2020, like a month after, I just got like my a message that I should check my application. Then I got a provincial interest letter. So again, I didn't apply for PNP. You don't actually, I don't know if you apply for some, but for the most part they just send you, they have access to everybody in the pool, so they can send you like an interest letter, and if you're interested in them, you accept. If you're not interested, you can decline. So also I would like to note that when they asked where I want to live, I just clicked on all provinces. I didn't choose one specific province. So I saw it, I showed it to my mom. We're kind of like still in mourning and everything. She was like, yeah, apply. I'm sure it's your dad that is like, you know, doing this. You know how it is now. So I accepted, and then let me actually fire up my laptop here. So immediately I accepted, I was assigned like a case file. Someone was working on my application. So she was asking me lots of questions. She wanted to know like I said, I have 3 years of experience, but 2 years in the oil trading company, and my knock was like for marketing. So she was asking me questions about that. She wanted to be sure that I've actually worked for that company. And when I googled online, it says it takes like a month and they'll respond to you to give you like so I can get extra 600 points. If you are a provincial nominee, you get extra 600 points. And keep in mind, my score is already 475 at this point, right? So she was asking me so many questions. She was asking how much I was earning. Like, she really did her research. It was like very intense. I was even worried, like, is she gonna decline? Then she was like, okay, she's gonna work on my file. Then later she messaged me to say she actually sent a message to the company, because I dropped the company's email as well in collaboration with all the file that they requested for. So I added the company's email on my list of duties, and she messaged the email and the person did not respond. So I messaged our HR girl like, hey, what's up? Like, did you get any message? She was like, oh, I've left the company. Literally 1 month after you left. Me too, I left. I said, voila, who is the HR now? So she sent me somebody else's number, it was literally my really good friend. I was like, oh, okay. Like, let me check. The message actually went to spam. Like, it went to his trash, and he was like, oh, it's fine, I'll respond for you, blah blah blah. Then he responded literally the next day. She sent me my PNP nomination letter. So at this point I now had 600 plus 475. That was now my score, maybe 1000 something. Then she sent me my PNP letter November 8th 2021. Then November 10th 2021 I got my invitation to apply. That's the ITA. So that's like, come to Canada. I was very happy. This was November 2021. I was like, okay, in 6 months time I should be there, or maybe my own won't even take that long, maybe 3 months time I should be there. Now we're moving to the next part. So I gathered everything I needed. They'll ask you for so many things like proof of funds, medicals, just I don't know, maybe let me see if I can find a checklist that I'll include on the screen. I got everything ready. I went to Abuja to do my medicals because when I went to Lagos, Jesus Christ, people were there since I think 4 a.m. like queuing for medical because everybody was trying to leave Nigeria. And keep in mind, at that time, that's when the UK jackpot syndrome was like getting even more intense. So everybody was leaving. Everybody needed to do medicals. Oh my god! So I went to Abuja instead. Abuja was also very busy, but it wasn't as crazy. Like, at least it wasn't as crazy as Lagos because then who is waking up at 4 a.m.? I got there, they're like, Auntie, don't worry, just be going home. Like, you cannot do anything today. And I don't live in Lagos now. I was coming from Ondo State. So if you want to do anything, honestly, Abuja is much better. It was very seamless. I just got everything done and I was fine. So now I have all my documents. I applied December 21, 2021. So keep that date in mind. December 2021, I've applied. Then immediately I applied. That same day, I got my acknowledgements. I paid my right of residence fee so that nothing would. I was thinking is so that nothing would delay. So I got my. Oh, let me try to sign into my. This is so I can have a look at all the dates so I can give an accurate timeline. So immediately after my AOR, which is your acknowledgement of receipt, I think that's what it means. I hope I'm not making up words here. So I was correct, it's called acknowledgement of receipt. If you see me looking to the side, it's because my laptop is here as well. I want to let you guys know. So my application took so long. It took a year and some months. So now that I've applied in December 2021 and I got my acknowledgement of receipt, the wait started. So I didn't hear anything. Like I was thinking, like soon I should hear something. In February, they told me that my medical has been passed. I was like, oh my god, okay, like we're like on the right track, everything is fine. Then crickets, nothing. I did not hear anything from anybody till so I applied for GCMS notes because I want to see what's going on in my file. That's like the advice. By the way, I also didn't join any group chat at this point, like no agents, nothing. I'm doing it by myself, like I'm on my own, no help from anybody. I didn't read all these like forums either. I took the advice of they tell you, like, please don't bombard us with messages, don't disturb us while working on your file. I was like, okay, like I'm very naive like that, and they're working on my file. Finally someone was like, if you want to know what's happening on your file, ask for GCMS notes. And I think I applied for GCMS notes, what was the month before June? May June. Yes, I applied in May. Then in June they sent me my notes, but then I got like some movement on my file, which I feel like that's one of the tips that I have to give. If you feel like your application is taking long, apply for GCMS notes. It's like $20. Just do it. Don't worry about the money because honestly, I'm trying to see. So my first request that they asked for was my passport. They said the passport I sent was blurry, and they did not do anything since I applied because they said the passport is blurry. When they sent it, I was like, is that passport request? So it's not passport request. They're asking me to send it again. So when I sent it again, like they requested this June 30th. By July 8th, they sent another request again that my passport is about to expire because I don't think it wasn't. I think I had like 6 months or 7 months on it, but I was like, within 7 months they should have answered me. So apparently it's not like that. So by July 8th, they sent me another additional ADR, which is additional document request, that go and renew your passport. And you guys, again, this was still at the height of all the Japa movement, the passport office. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. So I had to use connection. somebody that knows somebody was one that helped me. I had to go to Ilorin to go and do my part because that's where we knew somebody. The Ado Ekiti one, it was not even working again. They were not releasing passports, so I had to go to Ilorin, paid 100k to get my passport done. I'm so traumatized. I got there in the morning. If you see the way those people were very rude. Like, if you ask questions, like, you can get dirty slap. I'm serious. Plus, you know, they are from Ilorin and they're not very sharp. Like, I got into the office where you are supposed to sit down to snap the picture. So I'm like, should I sit down here? And man was like, Joko, sorry, me, sit down on my head. I was just saying, like, man, chill. Like, it's not that serious. And then when I smiled, it was like, why are you smiling? Why are you not? If you see how ugly my passport is there. Anyways, long story short, I did it. Then they said my NIN is an issue. So just sort out your NIN, because that NIN, before you like at random scenarios, you just come and bite you in the butt. You suddenly realize that you need NIN. So anyways, I was done with that. Then I sent it. Obviously, like I don't delay too much. They give you like a deadline as well. So this one was 30 days. And if you know, in Nigeria, like passport was taking 3 months to come. So honestly, so I didn't even mind. I just paid the 100k and moved on. Then by September, so again, I sent this in July, maybe July 14th, or sorry, maybe 2 weeks later I sent it. Then nothing again. June, July, August, September, October, no, yeah, I did not hear anything from them. By September, I applied for GCMS notes. It did not come. They did not give me. They're like, they are busy. But at November, I ended up getting another additional request. See, that was what was honestly, because all these things are delaying, right? And I did not know there's like probably something that they need and they will not ask me until, see, it was just very stressful. So now in November, they asked me that I should send my bank account again. So you know, when I was applying, I already gave them my bank account and I did a gift deed from my mom. So that was fine. But then they wanted to, time has passed, obviously. Like at this point, it was already November, and I remember I did the application in December, so that's like 11 months has gone. So they asked me to send my bank account again for the past 6 months from the date of the letter. I didn't even mind. I added a year because money has been in my account since. So I just sent everything, and then like that same day. Obviously, some people were advising that make sure you collect letterhead from bank. I didn't even do all of that. I just downloaded it directly from my account and sent it straight to them. I was there like, you get the point. Like, don't you have started again with your wala. Then the next day, they asked me to go and redo my medicals. So I've done my medicals in the beginning. They asked me to go and redo it. At this point, I was already getting angry and frustrated. I was like, what's the delay? So again, in November, so I went to go and do the medicals. That same day, they told me, oh sorry, maybe the next day or 2 days later, they told me medicals passed. So I'm like, okay, good, this is nice, right? Everything I was reading, so I started at this point, I've joined Naira Land forum. I'm no longer individual, like I'm not doing it by myself again. I want help. So, and there's this Canada forum thing. Everybody are saying, oh, if they ask you to redo your medicals, immediately you pass the medicals, in a week's time you will get your PPR. And I'm there like, a week has passed, it's already December, I've done another December at home. Like, what's going on? But like, I think one thing I have to say is that I did not put my entire life on hold. I just kept, you know, like my mind was not there all the time. I was a bit worried at some point. I was trying, like I was applying for jobs, but that was in 2022. I was like really serious. When I get to the interview stage, you say, oh, are you in Canada? We're not really sponsoring, we're a small company, blah blah blah. And I'm there like, yeah, I'm sure I'll get PR soon, can you guys? Anyways, it did not work. So by November, December, January, February, nothing. That's another 4 months after I've done another medicals. So I was just kind of like, I think I'm like a really easygoing person. It wasn't like bothering me that much because I was home with my mom again. We just lost my dad like a year ago, so I don't think I was in a hurry anymore, like as I would have been in 2020. Like I would have been less patient. But this time around, I feel like everything kind of happened the way it did because I needed that. So anyways, at 1st of March, I got my PPR request. Finally. They're like, come on, drop your passport or something. I took the passport by myself because I was like, I don't want to hear story that it lost or anything happened. I went to Abuja to submit it by myself. And yeah, that's literally my PPR story, and I think it cost 29 or 27,000 for them to courier it back to me. And yeah, it took about 3 weeks, and then I got my passport and my visa, my COPR, and then I started coming. And you can the previous video obviously starts from where I'm stopping now. So that's like my entire PPR journey. It took me a year. Let me see, December 2021 to 1st of March 2023, like a whole year in between, and then like maybe 5 months. So 1 year or 5 months. Everybody's story is different. Everybody goes through some people's on 3 months they've gotten it, some 6 months. And then, oh, by the way, I have a theory for why mine took that long, because when I checked the GCMS note, I could see that they were like OP as like a previous, sorry, did I say OP? Abi original applicant as a previous refusal. So that was taking so long because they were trying to verify why I was actually refused. So if you don't have a previous refusal, you should be fine for the most part, I think. Yeah, I believe that's what, because there was like a review required, and review required, if you see that on your GCMS note, just know that you're just strapping, you're gonna be in for a long haul. So anyways, that's like my whole PR journey. It requires you to have like endless amount of patience. So now that I'm here, like I feel like in comparison to the first time I went to the UK, I'm so happy that I've come as an adult, you know, because like I'm older, I'm wiser, and I'm ready to take on Canada, you know. If you're in the area, give your girl a shout out, let's hang out, you know. Like I am open to making new friends because I just moved here. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll continue to put out more videos. Like, subscribe, you know. I think the more you like, the more YouTube pushes my video out there. So thank you all so much. Bye.